Hello and welcome to the Soulful Valley podcast. If you're a regular listener, thank you for listening and supporting this podcast. If you're new here and don't know me yet, I'm your host, Katie Carey, independent publisher of Books That Matter and an international best-selling author, and of course, the host of this globally ranked podcast. I help metaphysical coaches and healers gain confidence, clarity, raise their visibility and their credibility, giving them the opportunity to shine their light brighter so that the people they are here to serve can find them. I do this by creating opportunities for them to become best-selling authors in my multi-author and solo book projects. I also offer one-to-one mentorship services to help spiritual business owners find and unlock their limiting beliefs. In this podcast, I'll be sharing wisdom from myself, coaches, authors and energy healers that could be just what you need to transform your life today. You can connect with me via the Contact Katie button at my website at www.soulfulvalley.com.
You gotta love yourself with all your heart. If you don't already, it's time to start. 'Cause nothing's gonna work out until you do.
Hello! We have some exciting news for you about Becoming the Manifesting Diva. In our current series, we're thrilled to host some of the amazing contributing authors from our book collaboration, Becoming the Manifesting Diva, Creating Ripples While You Flow, with 13 inspiring stories and a foreword by the renowned Dr. Joe Vitale. This book is set to launch worldwide on September the 17th. For a limited time, you can grab your copy for less than £1 on Amazon, helping us support our incredible authors on their journey to become international best-selling authors. All we ask in return is that you leave an Amazon review. We have some opportunities to collaborate with us too. Calling All Poets. We're in the process of creating our third Soulful Poems book in our Amazon #1 international best-selling book series. If you're a poet or you channel wisdom that could be poetry in disguise, we invite you to submit your work via our application form in the show notes. We have another opportunity. Evolving on Purpose, the book series. We are also excited to announce our third book in this series titled Evolving on Purpose, Akashic Journeying to Wealth Consciousness. This is not just a book, it's a spiritual growth journey for both the authors and its readers. If you're an Akashic Records expert, this opportunity is tailor-made for you. And we also have some healing offers. Explore my range of meditations and guided healing sessions designed to help clear your money wounds and blocks. Plus, don't miss out on our Akashic co-creation activation to unlock your creativity. All these offerings are available on my Pensite page, along with our monthly free workshops. Again, you can find this information and the links in our show notes. If you would love a VIP service with a more personalised experience, connect with me through my website for a bespoke offer where I will support you holistically in overcoming challenges in your life and business. Remember, everything is interconnected. Links to applications and more details can be found in the show notes. Thank you for your support and let's create ripples together. And finally, if you've already read any of our books on Amazon or you're a listener on this podcast, please also leave us an Amazon review and follow and review this podcast to help us spread our important messages and help more people find solutions and help themselves. And now, let's get back to the episode you came here to listen to. Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Valley podcast. The Manifesting Divas, the authors of the book Becoming the Manifesting Diva, which launches on the 17th of September. We've got 10 of the divas in the room today who are going to let you know who they are and what they do and a little bit about their chapter, just to give you a little teaser of what to expect. So we will start with Louise.
Good morning. Well, good morning for me here in Australia. very excited to be here. My name is Louise Summerson. I am a mindset, personal growth, and soul purpose coach and mentor for women. My chapter, well, first of all, I work with women who feel they have lost their identity and women that want to find their true purpose in life and everything else in between, of course. And my chapter is called If You Believe, Then You Will Receive. And I'm all for that, about putting it out into the universe and trusting that it will work out in some way or another. And that's really what my chapter's about, is being careful about what you put out into the universe and being intentional what you put out there, because it will come back, it will manifest, whether good or bad. And do tell a little story about when I created a vision board with no intention and no direction, and just putting it out there, and it did manifest in a way that I really didn't expect, which turned out to be the international retreat that I'm now holding in Phuket in October for women. It's a self-love and wellness retreat, something honestly 5 months ago was not even in my radar. And I created this vision board late 2022. I was at a 3-day mastermind in Melbourne, in this beautiful penthouse in Melbourne, and we were doing a lot of future goaling and all that lovely stuff. I created this vision board and just put some real out there stuff on there, like real out there. And I thought, if it happens in the next 10 years, that's amazing. And then yet here we are a year and a half later, and I went on a healing retreat in Bali, and I came back and I was just having download after download, and I just got the vision and the nudge from the universe to create this retreat. And I'm like, well, I've never created a retreat before. And in the process of creating it, I was putting together the sales page, the website, and I looked at the image that I was using for the villa that I've booked for the group of ladies that are coming along. And there was the image of what I had put on my vision board a year and a half ago. And I just went, oh my God. And I just screamed and I ran downstairs, because I'd even put it away somewhere downstairs. Like, it wasn't even in my vision. I brought it upstairs and I'm just like, that's Phuket. That's the villa. And it just had, like, I'm getting goosebumps actually just talking about it, because it had, out of all the bits and pieces on there, there was the whole sentiment of the retreat on this vision board. It was quite an amazing thing. So that was also a reminder to be intentional about what you envision and what you put out into the universe as well, because the universe, again, will make it happen, but it will make it happen in a way that you don't even really know, or you don't want to happen. Not that I didn't want the retreat to happen, that's not what I'm saying, but just, being intentional and just putting it out there. And if you believe, then you will receive.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Louise. Reverend Stacey.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you guys. So my name is Reverend Stacey Pietrahita. It rhymes with Margarita, just in case anyone's wondering how to pronounce my last name. So I am a former nursing educator, Reiki master, inspirational speaker. I am now medically retired. So this is my second run around in a co-author book. My first one, Her Truth, is where I met Katie. And that happened 3 years ago. And ever since, I've been bit by the writing bug. And this chapter came along, and it was certainly a gift from the universe. Katie and I know how long it's taken to actually manifest this actual book coming to fruition. My first chapter in Intuitive was called Reiki is Better Than Sex. So for my second one, I chose The Little Reverend Who Could, because it just goes to show that God picks the most unimaginable people to preach his word. But basically, my chapter is about, manifesting as becoming who we are meant to be in this lifetime. And my chapter is about overcoming adversity. There's a little bit about my near-death experience. But after the first book, I got bit by the writing bug. And since I'm now medically retired, all I'm really doing is writing, sharing my journey, and just seeing where God takes me next. So I'm just very, very excited to be here. My plans are after, depending on how much more healing I do, I would like to start my heart healing ministry, the Chapel of Divine Love. But right now I take one day at a time. And I'm just happy to be here and see where God takes me next. So nice meeting everyone.
Thank you very much. And Yana.
Hi, good to be here. My name is Yana Bernard. I help women with anxiety and depression get back in control of their lives, reach their true potential, and actually be unlimited as we're meant to be. I focus on the connection between nutrition, metabolic health, and mental health. And that's how I actually uncover the hidden root causes of the mental health issues that women that work with me come to see me with. I wrote a chapter about myself. It's very bold. What the chapter actually describes, most of it I have never actually spoken about with anyone. These are very, very personal things that have happened to me that I didn't actually realize that there were actually certain signs up until a couple of years ago when I started meditating, when I got exposed to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I really started to understand the connection that we have with the universe and how actually everything is in here. It's actually our heart and our mind. And the chapter is called When You Ask, It Is Given, because this is what I really believe. And that's what I have been actually witnessing from my childhood. That's about it.
Thank you. Joanne.
Hello, my name is Joanne Ross, and I am known as the Dementia with Dignity Champion. And that's because I watched dementia steal away my mom's vibrancy and essence bit by bit over several years. And I was privileged enough to be with her as she took her last breaths. And I was devastated to see the shadow of who she had once been when she passed. So something that I have achieved is that I've developed a design for a dementia village and a wellness complex in her honor, because I don't want anybody to suffer the way that she did without that quality of life. It's really important for me. It's what kind of drives me, is that everybody deserves to have quality of life until their very last breath. And so my mission is to change the landscape of long-term care. This dementia village is going to be a benchmark and best practices so that it is going to be replicated across the planet. And it's not just for the residents, it's for the caregivers as well. So I always say people aren't going to be lined up to live there. People are going to be lined up to work there, because it's going to be a place of respect and dignity and love and joy, community and quality of life for everybody associated with it. So what I'm up to right now is I have developed some workshops, and I am writing another book, and they're for families and caregivers of people who are attained with dementia. And it ties into the chapter in this book, which is called Return to Wholeness, because 0.7% of the population right now is touched by dementia. That's terrifying. And for every one of those people, there's 2 to 3 caregivers that are usually family members who help to take care of them. And if they're anything like me, it was terrifying. It was confusing. It was scary. It was the great unknown. I had no idea what was going on. So my courses are called Navigating the Dementia Journey, and it's a survival guide for families and caregivers. And it's to give you tips to return to wholeness, which is the name of my chapter in this book. And it teaches people that you can't give from an empty vessel. You have to be well mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So that's what my workshops work towards, is giving tips and techniques and tools for working with people with dementia, as well as the most important thing, which is self-care for yourself, so that you can support others from a place of holistic wellness. And a little bit more about me. So when I'm not doing those kinds of things, I like to learn how to surf and ride my Harley. So that's who I am. Thank you very much, Katie.
Thanks, Joanne. Dr. Suzanne Kurz.
Yeah, hi all together. I'm a multi-passionate German scholar, creator, author, speaker, coach, and a few other things. So multi-passionate, all over the place. As a coach, I'm working mainly with hypnosis as a tool, and I offer a trance journey to the power within, mainly for people who feel somehow stuck in life and can't break out of that situation rationally. When you use your rational mind and you are running against the wall all of the time. And we go beneath that in the hypnotic trance state and do an explorative journey. So that's obviously for people who may be a little bit farther ahead in life, little bit older, and maybe also have achieved some things, but now there's something that doesn't work for them anymore. So essentially the situation I was in when I transitioned, because most of my life I've been in academia, of my adult life, and I've been a researcher and university teacher in the cultural history of the Persian-speaking world during the times of Islam. And I really loved that until it just didn't work for me anymore. And then I transitioned to coaching. But meanwhile, I found that there's a very strong element of my personality, which has a creative urges. I also have a YouTube channel with a TV show that's called Change. That's an interview series to inspire people who navigate major life changes by interviewing and talking to people who have navigated such changes. And I have a new podcast, which is also a YouTube series. I have a bilingual channel, which is German and English. And the English version is also a podcast now. It's called Death and Beyond, where I essentially talk about how I transitioned, or I moved from being a skeptic to getting into spirituality. And there are several reasons, personal reasons, why death is a topic for me. But I think that's something that may help other people too, who are maybe just in the situation I was in a couple of years ago. The other thing is that I've started channeling, and I have published a little book with channeled stories. They also have a message each, and it's a selection of stories that I've channeled. I've added journaling prompts so people can dive a bit deeper and get their own, truth and messages from these stories. And I've added some images to just hasten the experience and inspire a bit more. Currently, the English version is out as an ebook on Amazon, but I'm planning to launch the paper version just after our book launch, after the Manifesting Diva, because I think there's not much time left now, and I have a lot of things on my plate, and I don't want to promote two books at the same time. And so I think, I'll just use a bit of the wave of enthusiasm that we create with the Manifesting Diva to maybe get some people also to purchase my little book. Yeah, that's the things I have there. On the creative side, I'm also developing a high fantasy TV series, which I've recently talked about with Katie in our interview, because Katie is involved in that in some ways. Maybe most interesting for people who are on this call, I'm also supporting and helping spiritual entrepreneurs who want to have their videos edited, uploaded, repurposed, maybe audios repurposed to videos, videos repurposed to audio, all that sort of stuff. Essentially, all technical things. I also help authors to get their Amazon author profile sorted in case that's something that you're struggling with. And I help people who have a podcast to put it on the International Movie Database, which is a large, very important international database that has recently opened up for podcasts, so you can get more CEO backlinks, more visibility, and so on. It's a bit of profile building. I also help with Wikipedia articles if you have one or are eligible for one, because that's something in my core abilities as a scholar, as a former researcher, I'm still a researcher. So in my chapter, I have essentially, I'm really, really excited about this book coming out because I'm burning to read it. I've been burning to read this book right after Katie had announced it because I'm so excited to hear all the stories and to get inspired and to learn what other people have done and to test that for me, because I'm very much about becoming the manifesting diva. So my chapter is titled, I think, Becoming the Manifesting Diva with the Handbrake on. So that's just me. So what I've done there is essentially I've manifested the chapter. So that's the first story I have in there. Then I've explained a bit and told the story about the major manifestations that I have found in my life, which were mainly my best and most lucrative academic jobs. Then I had some realizations about more manifestations that I hadn't even realized before starting to write the chapter. And I have one really miraculous event thing that happened about 2 years ago in the financial area, and I won't disclose that. People have to read the chapter for that, but that's really something that where it's not really, you can't explain it. You can't really explain it logically, why that and how that happened and why that happened.
Katie.
Hello.
Hello.
Basically, what I do is I help people learn how to, the short version is I help people learn how to live their best lives, by which I mean we take all of the physical side of trauma, because I don't know if, I assume most people are familiar with the book, The Body Keeps the Score, but that's something that I find really rings true. So I use my yoga background to help people release the physical side of trauma. And then with my coaching background, we get rid of unhelpful beliefs that ultimately are the main thing that I find holds people back in life. And from there, we figure out exactly what that dream life looks like. And I won't give away the secret sauce, but basically what I do is I treat it kind of like I'm providing you with the recipe. Here are all of the ingredients. Here are the steps that you need to take. And then my clients are met with a crossroads moment, which is what my chapter is about, where they can either choose to take action and dive in with both feet, or they can choose to stay on the same path that they've been on. And my chapter is mostly about crossroad moments and my experience with them. I like calling them crossroad moments because it's when you're faced with a decision where you can either do the same thing all over again, or you can go backwards, or you can take that leap of faith and step forwards in your journey and go somewhere completely different from the norm, which has brought me quite a bit of the whole overhaul in my life over the last, since 2021, really, because that's when, again, I'm not going to get into it because it's in the chapter, but 2021 was a big turning point for me. And ever since then, I quite literally have changed my entire life. I don't live in the same province anymore. I live in Canada, for the record. So I've moved across the country. I've got a completely different job. I live a completely different life, and it is absolutely magical. And I love that I can share that with my clients and whoever picks up this book now. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Giselle.
Hi, Okay, so my name is Giselle Hurtado. I am a healer and a writer, and I'm very passionate on herbalism. So my book, my chapter is called Pathways to Destiny. And what I write in this chapter is just a change of perspective of the things we go through, even the hardest times that we go through. It's just to really outlook and change the way we feel about it and kind of just align to the universe. I think a very important part of manifestation is truly aligning to ourselves and what we believe and just having fun. If you're not having fun with your passions, then it's what are you doing, right? Yeah. And I think this chapter has really opened me up to just a lot of change that I've overcome in my past lifetime. I am also a domestic violence survivor. And I think what I really bring to this book is to kind of share my perspective on how we can align to our true selves and just kind of go with the flow and not worry too much about what's happening too much in our life. Just really accept our path and open up to ways that we can just be trusting with God and the universe. And I think doing this mindset change has really helped me to just not worry so much as I used to and not cover myself with darkness like I used to in the past. So, yeah, I'm still practicing a lot of different things, and I'm fairly new to this manifestation journey. I'm still manifesting a couple things like becoming an author. I do see a couple familiar faces from the Evolving on Purpose, and that was just a huge breakthrough for me. It really brought out and healed a lot of my trauma, and I feel like this experience like really kind of heals us and also heals others. And I'm just so happy to be a part of this collaboration. But yeah, a little about myself. I am a dental assistant for as a career. I'm a passionate writer. I just love writing. I have a little dachshund, a little wiener dog, and I also like riding bikes. But in my free time, I just dedicate a lot of time to writing, and I just hope to be able to build a little bit more guidance and get out there a little bit more. I think that's my next manifestation goal is to really push out there and help evolve people. So yeah, I think my chapter kind of speaks about gratitude, pure intention, and just aligning our hearts and our perspective to what we love to do, being very passionate about what we do. And I think those change of perspective really starts to bring in what we love and what is meant for us. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. But yeah, I'm very excited and thrilled to just be amongst so many, experienced teachers. And I hope to learn from every single one of you guys. And yeah, lots of love. And thank you for allowing me to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Giselle. Marie.
Yeah, hi. Hello. First time to be on write a chapter about my flow with chocolate in a way. It's all around, it's very different from others. And my chapter is called Chocolate, Football, and the Tao. And it started with a big, big heartbreak in 2004. And then working with chocolate was my way out of it. And through that, I have learned so much about myself as well. Getting to that point, writing that chapter, I realized as well how much I've actually already manifested, which I wasn't aware of as well. And then last year came an oracle card deck to that as well, something I never ever dreamed of doing. Me, an oracle card deck, it's all about cacao. And then I slipped and slided in a way into the role of a football agent, football as in soccer, a European soccer. And that came via a cocoa farming community. And that work is just so much fun and it lights me up. It's challenging and I'm just going through another challenge as well. I'm German as well, and as Germans, we are so direct. I'm not that much direct anymore because I've lived in the UK for a very long time, but it can still be very offensive to almost any other culture. And then working with African culture, with Ghanaians, we learn a lot together. And that teaches me so much about communication as well and being vulnerable and being willing to go back to the table and start talking, which is not the easiest thing for me either. But through all of that, so I work with a community in Ghana with chocolate, and at the moment, and I'm a veterinarian, and that still brings in the pennies. So I'm now in the process of combining all that to educate about chocolate, about the child labor happening there. That's how I got there. And what cacao really should be like. Not necessarily raw, because there is no raw chocolate, it's all fermented. And fermentation brings the temperature already too high. And not necessarily about ceremonies, that's a very indigenous thing. And who are we to, it's all that cultural, too much borrowing sometimes. But we can make it our own. We can just make it a celebration. And then the football and all, it comes together in one nice big circle. And the plans I have, so at the moment, we are already supporting quite a few families and a football team in Ghana. And that football in Ghana is so different to football in Europe or the UK. It gives young people such a structure and such a community that they don't have at home often. And me having the contact with them as an agent, although I'm still very much a baby agent, it gives them hope of something that's much more realistic than they've ever had before. And it's just fun. So I don't know yet where that journey will go. I know there will eventually be a football academy, and I know that I will be a big part in eradicating child slavery in the cocoa industry. That's where it all started, and that will all come together. And that's about it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Danielle.
Hi, Katie. I'm Danielle DeMoss, and I'm a coach and an energy healer and an Akashic Records reader. And gosh, just my journey isn't even over to all the things I'm sure that I really would like to pursue and share and help others with. My focus is on helping others heal and manifest a life they desire. So my chapter in Manifesting Diva describes my journey into self-discovery and into my truth and manifesting the life that I wanted and I desired. So it goes through my journey of what I uncovered of living unconsciously and with limiting beliefs, mindset, negative perspectives, different archetypes. And I felt so many times in life like I was pushing this boulder up a hill and like, why is this happening to me? These negative things, or the life was happening basically to me instead of for me. So it kind of goes into my journey of self-reflection, and self-reflection is not always easy, but the growth is still worth it. To now I live life with more gratitude, more intentionality, and giving from like a full cup instead of an empty cup. And it kind of brought out more what lights me up is helping others. I've always wanted to be someone, when I was growing up, I wanted to help other people. So with whatever I've learned and share, and that just kind of lights me up. I do have a regular full-time job right now, but I'm launching my website this month, and I decided to launch it coinciding with the book launch as well. So it launches on the 17th. So I'm really excited to kind of broaden my ability to help others with this website. And my book is more, or my chapter of the book is, I don't know if it's as like bold and things as others might be, but it's just very simple and it's relatable for other people of like, yes, I go through this. Yes, I've had this happen. And this happened to me, or, different things that they can relate to. And I'm just hoping that resonates with other people and helps them in their journey as well.
Thank you. That's everyone.
Thank you so much today for sharing your stories and a little bit about yourselves to our audience. We'll be coming to you with some longer episodes from some individual authors very soon. Bye for now.
So ask yourself, is this for me? Give yourself some boundaries. Learn to trust your intuition now.
Thanks for listening to the Soulful Valley podcast. I trust that you will have heard something today that you were ready to hear, and that it's made you feel a little lighter, more aligned and connected with your soul's purpose, and you have been reminded of who you really are and the true nature of the power that you hold within you. My aim for this podcast is to bring love, light, wisdom, raise consciousness and ease suffering. If you've enjoyed the show, go back and listen to some of the back catalogue of previous episodes. Subscribe, follow, rate and review so that you're notified when new episodes drop in, and share this podcast with anyone that you think it may help to listen to. You can connect with me at soulfulvalley.com, and if you scroll to the bottom of the website, there are links to my social media platforms.